British secret services at the time, certainly during the run-up to Iraq, I certainly know of major broadcasting figures that would meet with them, and the security services would be telling them, it's terrible, we're coming under intolerable pressure from the government, from politicians, to mess around with the intelligence. You seem to be suggesting the intelligence services are overruling politicians.
Well, the politicians have to take on trust what the intelligence agencies tell them. And the politicians keep coming out and saying, we know what they're doing because we have to sign this, we have to sign that, and they brief me every week. But actually, I know from the inside how easy it is for the spies to lie to their notional political masters. And they do, and they get away with it because there is no way of their knowing they've been lied to.
Presumably the present heads of the secret services would say it's changed since those days.
It has changed, I would agree. I think it's got worse.
How do we know?
By reading between the lines. The fact that they can have secret courts, the fact that they have culturally shifted from the 1990s where they did not use torture to now being complicit in it. And the reason in the 1990s they didn't use torture was vaguely ethical, but actually it was based on experience from the civil war in Northern Ireland in the 70s and 80s when they had done. And they realised it was counterproductive. It created blowback, it created a whole new generation of very angry people who potentially could become terrorists. That is what we're seeing again across the Middle East and Central Asia. So it was a pragmatic decision, it was an ethical decision, and it's been overturned since 9/11.
So why the return now to this need to use fear?
Because people who are fearful are very easy to persuade to give up their hard-won civil liberties. And we in the West have spent 500 years building up this canon of fundamental rights for human beings. Not to be extrajudicially murdered, not to be tortured, not to be disappeared into a prison, to have the right to freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of thought, freedom of conscience. All these things have taken centuries to build up. But by creating fear of the unknown nebulous terrorist, then suddenly people are happy to trade their liberties for security, which of course is not working out. And one of the fundamental basic human rights is privacy, because if you lose that, you lose all the others of freedom to ingest information, to communicate information, to plan, to think, everything. And that's why this privacy issue is so fundamentally important.